Cool.
Hello, mate. All worked out then?
You alright?
Yeah, mate. How are you? What time did you get to sleep?
Not that bad, about one-ish, actually. But we started so early that...
1 o'clock?
Yeah. Well, we got on a plane at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So, you had a quick beer at 4:30. And then...
Sure. AM.
Yeah, 4:30 a.m. And then just carried on through the day. But it was mate, it was living. It's living life. That's what it is. You know what football's great about? It gives you exposure to the extremities of being alive. That's why people love it. It's opium for the masses. And that last night was a direct injection to my aorta.
Mate. So where exactly were you? You were in the ground?
No, we weren't in the ground. No one. The tickets were changing hands for $3,000. People, I saw an exchange of money and tickets in a bar very early on yesterday. £1,500 a ticket. Someone just lumped.
Almost worth it though. In the end. Almost worth it in the end.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But I don't have $3,000, so I was never getting in.
No. As a general number though, it was worth it.
There's the main bar in Amsterdam Square. There's a thing called the Grasshopper, which is like a really famous pub in Amsterdam. But next to it, there's a sports bar. So I did what all like good, solid English men do: is go and watch your team play in a sports bar if you can't get in the ground. And it was like the game kicked off. The Lip scored really early on.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, it's done.
Yeah.
Let's just not get absolutely battered. Let's go back with our head held high. And the second half finished 2-0 down. That I can't remember the guy's name. Number 22 is Ziyech. I think it's Ziyech. He is a mustard.
Yeah, mate, he's decent.
Oh, he was like their best player by a country mile. And we were 2-0 down, and it was half time. And we were outside, and I was like, I don't even want to go back in. Don't even want to watch the rest of it. Once a Spurs fan left at half time, and he got a ticket for the game. He left at half time.
No.
This was all down. Yeah. Anyway, you get what you deserve, innit? But so we were just like, I was sat talking to my brother when we was out there. I was like, we've just got to sit through it. Like, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. We've got to the semi-final. It's a great story. We've done everything we can. And then scored a goal. Then you're thinking, well, 2-1, away goal, semi-finals.
We couldn't even live with that.
Process it.
Yeah.
Can process it. Then scored again. You're like...
Mora, bang, bang.
You're like, hang on a bloody second.
Yeah.
We could chuff and well do this. And the place went crazy. The second goal, the place went absolutely crazy.
It is funny. I think we're living in a world of such extremities that we can't understand. We can't calm ourselves down for a second and understand it. If you take a step forward in life or in a game of football and score one goal, the context changes.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, well, now we only need one more, and then we're only going to need one more to win the whole thing. So it just moves it forward. And so for you to get the second goal, then people's minds are blown, but it was always doable.
Yeah, the game's about ebbs and flows. And if you've watched football long enough, you can understand it. You see it. When the game's changing, you see it and you can pick up on it. It's intangible, but you can feel the pace of the game. You've watched hundreds and hundreds of hours of football. You understand the essence of the sport. And what witnessed as soon as you scored that goal was like, they're on the ropes. And not only are they on the ropes, they don't know how to deal with what we've got. They've got the technical ability. They're individually better footballers than we've got. 4 or 5 of those would walk into our first team. But what they didn't have, and I don't want to sound too like Brexit and gammon here, they didn't have the still and the will.
Didn't like it up them.
They didn't like it up them. And Llorente came on, and we went direct again. And for the second time in two legs, as soon as we started going direct to Llorente, they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And
it was very similar to the first leg in that sense, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think they weren't as good in the second leg as they were in the first, in that first 20 minutes. But yeah, it wasn't dissimilar. And then Jim, we scored again. And then,
mate. I was watching it with my headphones on because the missus doesn't like the sound of football. Anyway, so I'm listening to it and I keep going, but then in the last sort of 15 minutes of that game, they had a few chances, hit the post. Ziyech, like I say, was unbelievable. And it kind of then got to about 85, getting close to 90 minutes, and you think, I don't know, Ajax have kind of weathered the storm here. Maybe they are going to kind of do it. So when the goal went in literally the last couple of seconds.
Well, there are two instances of time wasting, but the keeper got booked, and then they had it they had a corner, and the guy fumbled it and it bounced off his ankle. And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Experience is that's ineptitude. To give the ball away in the corner like that is ineptitude at the highest. All you have to do is keep the ball within a foot of your foot and shield off and the worst that's going to happen is you get tackled and you gain possession again. The fact that you let it bounce off his heel and then go for a goal kick was ineptitude on their part, and that's what you can't do at this level. You can't do it in the Champions League semi-final.
Well, you've been there, you've won one.
How about that now? And then the ball went forward. Llorente flicked it on and laid it off to Dele Alli, and at that point, honestly, I don't remember the point from the ball leaving Dele's foot to about 5 minutes after the game. It was carnage. It was like the last day of Gomorrah. It was Babylon.
Were you with a pint? Did you have a pint in your hand?
Jump on a table and backflip off it. What? In a crowd. He got on the table and just backflipped off the
table. Landed on his head, but it was worth it.
No, he landed on his feet. That's the fucked up thing about it.
Mate, I can't. I think that's always the thing, is that I'm always like, that's what people saw it with me with the England games. It's like, there's nothing better than totally letting go when you get what you want and you've just been yearning for it for 180 minutes or whatever it is, or it can be 20 years sometimes. So when you get it and you're given literally the green light to go potty, you don't hold back, do you? You don't hold back.
It's the greatest feeling on earth. Like I've said it many, many times, I've taken everything I can under the sun, more or less. Nothing makes me feel like Spurs scoring a last-minute winner in Champions League semi-final. Nothing. There's nothing in the world that can replicate that. And people who say they don't understand what football is, just a game. It's their lack of depth which results in them not being able to understand that football is so much more than just a game. It gives us everything, and it takes everything from us, and that's why you can't replace it.
This morning I went on Ball Street and I found a video. It was Inter Milan versus Spurs. Me and you did a live stream straight after the game, and you'd conceded in the last minute or something, and you had to talk about it afterwards. And and you were devastated, and you were looking and you were going, we'll get through with 9 points. And I tell you what, people were doubting Pochettino, but we're going to dish up some wallops this season. And then I think you said, and I'll tell you one more thing. Lucas Moura is superb. He's I was like, oh my God. He's seen something, yeah. For him to score a hat-trick, even if he is a right-wing racist, I mean, that's great.
Mate, look, all's fair in love and football.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. You've seen with Liverpool that, they defend some pretty abhorrent people in Luis Suarez and El Hadji. But they defend them because they're Liverpool players. So I'm going to go on record and say I do not solitary fuck what his politics are. He's just got 3 goals, Champions League semi-final. That's good enough for me.
Mate, unbelievable. So I guess, you're going to go to Madrid now. You've got to go, mate.
Well, so because the bloody Scousers went through first, they bought all the bloody tickets, didn't they? Yeah. So we're trying to figure out. So first thing we thought about was flying to. Well, first we looked at flying straight to Madrid, $2,000, not an option. So I thought, all right, let's be a bit creative with this. Let's drive. Fucking all right, let's drive. Yeah, done it before. Do it again. Never doing that again. Let's drive. All the ferries are booked. Everything, can't get out. On car, you can't get out of England towards on the main in Europe at that time. So for fuck, what are we going to do? Like, let's fly to Prague. And then we'll fly to Prague and then go to Madrid. Even that is 500 quid. To go all that way, to watch the game and be surrounded by Liverpool fans at the same time, I don't know if you can do it.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to get... Because you're not going to get a ticket, right? You won't be able to.
17,000 tickets.
Yeah.
70,000. 70,000 tickets. Can't get them. The right people will be allowed into that stadium because these are the people that have been most loyal and gone to the most games and built up the most loyalty points. And that's just the way it is. It's. I think they should just fucking bin it off, Madrid. I just think, you know what? All right, Madrid, they got it. They're going to make money. It's good for the local economy. Just put it at Wembley.
Yeah.
Put it at Wembley. Give Spurs 30,000. Give Liverpool 30,000, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
English football's taken over Europe anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well make it. They should put it at Wembley every year.
That tops the Man City game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's the best football experience I've ever had in my entire life.
I'm not sure how you can top that.
That makes one in the top moments generally in my life.
Yeah. No, I get it.
We've done it again. 1 point from 3 games in the Champions League. Written off. So,
is that an Arsenal fan?
Yeah.
That was the last question. Imagine you win the Champions League before Arsenal.
We was on the kickoff and
Who is he?
Yeah, who is he? Give it to me. He just give it to me on a plate. And when he said it, I was like, I hadn't even thought about it. Because in my head, it wouldn't. In my head, it's still Arsenal. It's still the enemy. We don't believe in that forever in your shadow bollocks, right? But now he said it, I can start to get on board a little bit. Yeah? I can start to get on board with the idea that they will never top what we've achieved in football. And after all the years of them giving it, I'm going to be fucking unbearable. They're all getting it. All of them. At every opportunity.
If.
Even if we win the league, Pochettino says he's leaving. Win the Champions League.
I watched that. I watched that press conference, and he was like, "So that's I think that was a sarcastic answer. He was saying, "Yeah, I'm leaving if we win. I'm leaving if we don't win," which I think was just lost in translation. It's just being sarcastic because later on, someone asked him, "Will Harry Kane be fit for the final?" And he went, "Ciao." He was pissed. He was pissed off that when something like that's happened, you're concentrating on something ridiculous, something frivolous like that. So I think he's. I don't think he means it at all.
Yeah, what would say if there was an issue fit? If he was saying I'd leave if we win the Champions League, I'd take it. Yeah, it's like I'd say thank you so much. I wish you were my dad. I've got my own dad.
Yeah.
And while you will never give me what you've given me, I wish you well on your way, and I hope you achieve everything in your career at Newell's Old Boys. So I think that's crazy. I love him so much. You see how emotional he was afterwards?
Mate, bawling his eyes out. Exactly what you want. Exactly what you want.
Like a little girl. And it's the first time I've looked at a grown man crying his eyes out and thought, I love you even more.
Amazing, mate.
What a 24 hours.
I can't imagine, man. Well, yeah, and I'll have to figure out who I'm rooting for in the final.
Yeah. I mean...
I'll have a think.
How's it get on with Sam on one per week? Huh? Hard work.
He did all right, actually. He did all right. I tell you what, I'll put this at the start of the pod, and people will now see what he's like. He was decent. Oh, and mate, listen to the podcast because there's a very special thing at the end of it. You'll like it. All right. Go drink some more. I'll see you later. Buzzing for a cookie after this.
Yeah, same as the
Who bought them?
I did.
You sicko.
That's nice, isn't it? Nice.
It's classic. I want a sweet, therefore I'm dragging you all down with me.
Does he do that?
It's a very move.
He does it to me all the time. On the weekends.
He massively preys on the vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he?
He'll buy me some Haribo Tam
Do you think there's something really sinister about that?
Well, there's
Bit
a potential
creepy, innit?
potential undertone.
He's picked out the weakest one.
Do you know what? Someone who does something like that. So you're saying he buys sweets,
and because he wants a sweet, and then he offers sweets to everyone else.
Yeah.
That does not age well. So he needs to maybe rein that.
He needs to
in.
get a new
You've got to be
hobby.
Careful, or be very clear when you give the sweets that look, it's someone's birthday, some kind of occasion. Otherwise, you're drifting into territory the older you get. Hello everybody, welcome back to the best podcast you've never heard of, and you'll never know who that was, because I don't want to start rumours that could come back to haunt him later in life.
I would, but...
It's going to be a bit of a different feel this week. No Rory this week as the
Hey.
Noor replacement. Thought we'd get a different super sub.
The side,
Super sub,
bitch.
innit? Probably the most
we came
successful,
straight to you.
probably the
Came
most
straight to me.
successful super sub in football right now.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
Sam Peoples.
This
That's
guy is
not really
pop-
saying much for the rest of
Over
substitutes.
100k. Yeah, go on, yeah.
Okay.
And hit that like button and be nice, just because I'm slightly worried about this one, to be honest, because people love Flav, but he's out in Ajax, probably, well, by the time this goes out, either in tears or
Dancing with midgets.
dancing midgets. Anything could be happening to him right now. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think Flav is up to right this second? Guess who else is here, lads and ladies?
Who?
It's the big dog. Big dog!
Let's
He
not
doesn't know
do
the
it.
bits, does he?
Yeah.
Doesn't know the bits, does he?
Big dog.
Thank
Big
God.
dog.
He's big
You know
dog.
about this?
Thank God.
But he's big dog.
Matt Leighton put it this way, Tabby.
Okay.
He said, roses are red, violets are blue. Tanvi's the big dog. Woof, 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 woof.
Okay.
Big dog!
How did Tanvi become the big dog?
Because he wouldn't shut up saying it, would he, around the office, remember?
I remember that.
Oh, you remember that
Remember
bit?
that. Now that you mention that, both
Yeah.
offices actually old and new.
Okay, let's kick off with
Got a
a
bit awkward, really.
calm take straight out the back. Bat, sorry.
Sounded like a bit of
Someone
Samism
said-
there, mate.
It was a bit of a Samism. Expect a Samism. What is a Samism, Sam?
I basically mix up sayings in my head to make new ones. I don't know how it happens, but sometimes they work quite nicely.
Like, what's your favourite one?
Something about squeezing oranges.
Are there enough coins for the juice or something like that?
Oh, that was it, yeah.
Basically,
we
I
had a
can't.
whole wall of them in the old office.
Yeah, they're strange. My mind works in very mysterious ways occasionally.
I can't find it, but
Only
basically what it says is, James, you were right. That's just a calm take from someone, and they're referring to Lionel Messi's performance last week, and thus the performance that occurred yesterday. Dust will have settled now, and you can now all calmly go in the comments below. Yes, James, you are the best. You are always right, never wrong.
Why were you right, James?
Because I said I thought he was, for his level, didn't say it like this, but for his level, I thought he was average last week.
No, you said Messi had a poor game.
Apart
After
from the two
after he just scored that free kick, just had such a good game for Messi. You said that.
Apart from the two goals, one was just a kick, isn't it? It's a
Yeah,
kick.
with a bit,
The other
little
one-
bit of swaz on it.
The other one fell to him, and I thought Liverpool were the better side. I thought Liverpool could do something, and they have gone and done something. 4-0. No one believed in them. To be honest, I didn't expect them to do it, but I was right, and that's just what I wanted to get out.
So you just want that.
So yeah, so whenever you
Doesn't
know,
matter. You just want to be right.
Let's just go to Smug Cam.
You didn't
I'm
get
going to
it.
make his head
Yeah, cool.
bigger on
That's
that.
fine.
No,
Is that possible?
I'm going to get gift up. So some reasons to listen to the podcast. One, Sam's on it.
One. I was going to go with that as well. Thank
We're
you.
going to go with that.
The
Fine.
new big dogs in
Here's
town.
another reason. Justin Anchetta said this: the number of times I rewatched and laughed when Flav burped mid-sentence. That's the quality that we've got on this.
Did he
podcast.
carry on the second half of the sentence after?
Well, it's in quotes of the week a bit later in the podcast, but he basically tried to make this like grand philosophical statement. He basically said, look, at the end of the day, and then she went, it's so funny. And that's a reason to listen. Another reason to listen is because the podcast is on iTunes, and when we get reviews, we read them out. Here are two other reasons to listen. One comes from, he's called himself Calm Take, or she.
Okay.
Better off listening on here instead of watching on YouTube, so then you don't have to see the dreadful trims of flames.
Ooh.
Wow.
I mean,
Calm
you
Take.
can't call yourself calm take. Yeah, that's what. That's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, exactly. If you're spouting fire like that,
Bit harsh.
unfair.
Is it unfair,
Is
though?
it unfair? Though? I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is. And Big Man 2135 gave us 5 stars as well. Thank you. He's called it Calm Take, but then what will the slogan be when everyone has heard of the podcast? So the slogan at the moment is, it's the best podcast you've never heard of. What happens when everyone's heard of it?
It's quite simple, isn't it? Best podcast.
The best podcast.
You've heard of?
The best podcast.
Oh, just the best podcast. Or the best.
I mean, Sam's is all right.
Or just
Yours
best.
is-
Best podcast.
Just best.
Not even there. Get rid of the
Just best.
wasting it on the keywords. Best podcast. Get it across quickly. But until then, it'll be the best podcast you've never heard of. Speaking of which, we thought we might as well do this. Now, some people are saying it's not. Well, they gave a calm take to me and said that we shouldn't be going for this. But there's a BBC award going for best UK podcast voted by the fans. Now, we've got a lovely little community here, and we thought it's very easy to do. You basically just click on the link, which is in the description,
Obviously.
and search one for the weekend, and you can vote for us. And it will probably lead to nothing, but it would be nice. So go vote for us on BritishPodcastAwards.com/vote.
You were telling me yesterday you've already bought the suit.
I bought a suit. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Nice.
live show. Not my first time, Tanvir. Live show. We've been talking about a live show as well. So we have enough. We had over 60 emails.
Really?
I went old school. Set up an email address.
What was the email?
OFTWlive@gmail.com.
Surprised nobody had taken that email address.
I know, you would have thought someone would have snatched
Yeah.
that one. We have enough. We have over 60 emails. I was saying we needed 60 people to hire out the pub down the road.
Yeah.
And
What one?
So we've got, I think it's called Duke of something.
Ooh.
It's literally the one right there.
It's a bit of a dive.
That's nice, nice. Perfect size. Anyway, over 60 people want to come. The next problem is dates. So we will figure out a date, probably over the summer, maybe around Nations League might be an option. But we'll find a date. We'll give you a date
Always
next week.
finding football.
Is there a
James,
date
are
that
you?
works for you? Let us know in the comments below. Right. Let's talk about, can we talk about Liverpool just quickly?
Yeah, go on then.
As a Man United fan, can you appreciate the victory?
Yeah, I really can. I want to be unfair and I want to say something witty, but I can't. There's nothing that I can possibly say that will take away from last night. It was just... Although, actually, there's one thing. How crap were Barcelona? Come on.
Great question.
They
Were Barcelona crap or
How
were
did they
Liverpool
possibly
just epic?
switch off that much? That Trent, fair enough, Trent, very quick thinking, great finish from Origi, but a team of an elite team switching off. Just get one person to stand in front of the corner to stop it. That's how, anyway.
There's a lot
Apart
of
from
fairness in
that,
that.
I can't take anything away from it.
Yeah, I was chatting to Tanvir about it this morning, and even as a Man United fan, he said he was really pleased for Liverpool.
I didn't.
You
No,
said
I
that.
didn't
You
say
said
that.
that. You said that.
That came out of your mouth.
Say that.
You're making things up.
You said something
You're
along those
making things
lines.
up.
You said something along those lines.
I said it was a good game of football. But
You said
like,
you
as-
enjoyed it and you were pleased for them and
that's-
you wished them
that-
best of luck in the
that
final.
no.
And you
that
said
never
you were
happened.
thinking of changing. You were thinking of
No.
changing again
Mate,
to support
that
them.
never
Can't
happened.
remember who you supported
Never
before.
happened.
Those are the words that came out of your
Tanvir,
mouth.
what happened?
Loves making things up.
Can you? So this is the one thing that I have over you guys and all this is because like QPR are like down here. I can enjoy this because I can just support the English team.
I love the first leg. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Second leg, not so much.
No. And are you jealous of Liverpool?
Come on, man. 2 years ago, Liverpool finished below us, below West Ham and below Everton. Since then, they've had 2 consecutive Champions League finals.
Yeah.
How am I not jealous? Look at
Okay, so
United.
you are
We're an
jealous.
absolute atrocity of a football club. And it's not like we're going to sign a couple of players and, we're going to compete with them again. We are light years behind them. Light years.
Light years behind them.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that,
I
Tanvir?
reckon we're like 2 seasons away from challenging.
Optimistic.
He was
Tanvir.
second last year. What went wrong?
Well, no, he excelled more. And everyone laughed at Mourinho said when he said it was his best achievement to finish second with that squad. But now it's all unravelling.
Yeah.
It genuinely was a very good achievement.
So we're going to talk about the recent form of the what they call it. It's not even top 4, is it? It's like the 3rd to 6th. Obviously Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United. All of which their recent form is insanely bad.
Gash is the word I'd use, James.
Yeah, in the last 5 games, Arsenal have won 1, drawn 1, lost 3. Man United have won 1, drawn 2, lost 2. Spurs is 13th in the form table with 2 wins and 3 losses. And Chelsea flying with 2 wins, 2 draws and a loss, which has pretty much got them Champions League football. The Man United thing, though, in particular, it's proper unravelled.
It's easy to explain, though. Very simple.
So how do you feel? Let's go back a little bit more. How do you feel about Mourinho now? Do you feel? Is the fog kind of moving a bit now? And you're going, because I thought it was right to get rid of Mourinho. That said, with the way it's kind of got so bad, is there an element you were like, oh, maybe Jose was hard. It was harder than we thought?
No. Sacking Mourinho was 100% the right thing for United. He was never the right man to take United towards where City and Liverpool are right now. That being said, I was overly harsh towards him at the time, and I think I should have supported him more in certain things he said, like McTominay. I know he's a pretty put footballer. He wouldn't get into any top 6 team.
I like McTominay.
I like him. And he's shown more spirit than 90% of United's team combined.
Yeah.
And Mourinho loved him for that. He saw that in the dressing room, and he saw the other celebrities and influencers who were in our dressing room rather than footballers first. And that's the culture that's taken over United, and that's the big problem. And Mourinho, sacking him was the right thing.
List them. Because you know when people go, oh, that's the thing with Chelsea, they down tools, or Roy Keane saying they've done it before, they'll do it again. List them. Who are the guys? Who are the celebrity influencers who haven't got the gumption to do something like Liverpool did last night?
I think you can wrap Paul Pogba in that. You can wrap Lukaku. You can wrap Lingard, Rashford.
You go from most of the squad apart from like 3 or 4 players.
I wouldn't say
a white guy.
No, I wouldn't say. Well, they're not very good influences, are they? Most of this United squad is now this mercenary mentality is taken over, and it's all Alexis Sanchez's fault because he came on a free, was given a wage which blew United's wage structure completely out of proportion.
That's not his fault.
It's his fault.
It's
Absolutely.
his fault to get given money.
It's his fault. I'm blaming him.
Stop it.
I mean, it's his fault. Anyway, back to the story.
Explain that though, because that can't be on him, can it?
No, it's absolutely on United for giving it to him, and therefore I'm blaming him because it's easier.
Because it works for me.
That's just caused it to go crazy. And like Ander Herrera's about to leave United on a free, and loads of United fans love him, but he's not worth 200 grand a week at 30 years old for what is. He's not an average midfielder, but you can replace him. He's not incredible, and you can't offer him 200 grand at 30. Otherwise, you've got to offer it to Mata, and De Gea won't sign a new contract. That's been a catalyst for a lot of problems that United have now.
Is that as much the fact that you refuse to pay it as it is the willingness of someone else to pay it? Like I say, if PSG, like there's been a lot of talk about PSG and if they're gonna, the owner's gonna leave for a more exciting project in Queen's Park Rangers. I don't know.
What paper is that from,
That's not my call.
What paper is that from?
That's not my call.
It's just the Daily Gym.
The Daily Gym.
The Daily's from the Daily Gym. But if PSG continues to spend that kind of money, because that's Herrera's been linked with PSG.
Yeah, it looks like he's joining.
The same thing kind of with De Gea, right? Is that PSG are the team that will be able to kind of spend that money to pay the wages that these guys
Real Madrid is always going to be where he wants to go.
Yeah.
Because it's back home for him.
So is that part of the problem as well? Is that the fact that someone else wants to do it as much as because they wouldn't ask. Herrera wouldn't ask for 200 grand a week, would he? If he was,
that is the suggestion.
Elsewhere?
That is the suggestion. It's because his agent's been touting him out elsewhere, and they're suggesting they'll pay that, and it gives him then clout to come back to United and say, well, we've got this on the table.
But he doesn't even start, does he?
No, under Solskjaer, he came back into the team and was fantastic again. Mm-hmm. But again, there's not one point at United you can say, oh, that's run correctly. The whole club, given the size of it, your club's run better. QPR's run better than United.
I don't know.
100%.
I'm not sure. It does seem quite glaring when, like, we were talking about. Did a video with Chris, which is on the Bullshit channel now, reacting to the game, and then afterwards when we finished, we were going, and I think it's a reason why I think it's a likeable team right now. Is that if you go through the team, okay, Alisson, right, fine, a lot of money, very glamorous, like, and Roma are a big team, but then after that, you've got a kid at right back. You've got a guy from Schalke, you've got a guy from Southampton, again costs money, but is a guy from Southampton. You've got a guy from Hull City. You've got centre midfielders, one's played for Villa, and obviously he's been at Man City, they got from Sunderland. These are all players who've, like, it shows that it probably doesn't happen that often, but if you can get it right, you can get players from anywhere, put them together, coach them right, and create something really, really special.
I wouldn't downgrade the amount of money Liverpool spent. They spent 70 mil on Alisson, 75 on Van Dijk, 40 mil on Fabinho, 40 mil on Mane, 40 mil on Salah. It's just that the managers signed the right players for the right reasons. It's not the price or the club they've come from or wherever their history is.
Yeah.
It's the right player for the right club for the right manager, and it all is aligned.
But it have been. I think the thing is, though, you've got to. There is a worry, and it's gone wrong for Liverpool time and again. Actually, over the last however many years, 29 years, where they've gone and got a guy from who's had a good season, a little bit lower down, brought them up, but they haven't been able to then be developed and put into a team that works for them to have the balance. You got a team there that has a load of players who can actually have different qualities, but can also play in a lot of different positions. I think that's another problem that Man United have, and I think maybe you could say the same about Arsenal. You could say the same about Chelsea, less so Spurs. They've got Milner could play. He could play attacking midfield, defensive midfield. You know, the Mazzala role. He could play left back. He could play right back if he wanted to. Mane could play centre forward, left wing, attacking midfield if he wanted to. See my point? Like Henderson plays attacking midfield, defensive midfield. It seems like the recruitment, more than ever before, is 85, maybe 90% of how good a football team is going to be. In particular, probably more so at the top six sort of level, because you are just all fighting for the best players. So there's only so much more that the coach can do.
No, but Klopp is everything. Like as good as their recruitment has been, United, because we've adopted this Galactico superstar policy in the last 6 years since Fergie, we would never have looked at a left back at Hull. Edward would go. Robertson's been their best value money signing, easily. He would never have signed Mane from Southampton. Never.
Yeah.
Would never have even signed maybe Van Dijk because he was class at the time, but United have just got it so cataclysmically wrong.
It's sort of Daily Mail online recruitment.
Oh, it's exactly. He's just going to. What's it? Gareth Bale's on loan. Yeah, go on then. He's injured. No, fuck it. Get him in.
Yeah.
He'll say that United have just got all the priorities completely skewed the vision of the football club. So it's distorted it so much that it's lost itself. Whereas Liverpool, they got new owners in, they got Klopp in, they got the right people above him. The plan was laid out, and they went and executed it bit by bit by bit. And they're just getting better and better. And the worst thing about this Liverpool team is it's clearly not a flash in the pan. They're not going to be shit next year. They're just going to keep going up and up, and that's what scares me as a United fan.
I said it on the kickoff, and I stand by it. I do think the game yesterday, Milner and Henderson. I know I keep going on about them, but Henderson's not crazy old, but he's getting older. Milner is 32, I think. When those guys. They're a great example of it as well, where like even like a Darren Fletcher back in the day, those guys who've got the kind of the steel to be the glue of the team to keep you kind of moving forward. That's the other thing that Man United desperately need.
They're happy to play and give everything for their manager and their club. And United don't have those players. And running isn't everything, but is the utter basic aspect of football. If you do not run around the pitch, you're not going to get the ball, you're not going to get possession, you're not going to do anything going forward. And that's something that Liverpool, they had absolutely no right to beat Barcelona. 3-0 down, Salah's not in the team, Firmino's not in the team.
Yeah. All
they got to do is score one goal, and that's basically them out. Barcelona were crap for not making it for Dembele in the first leg. That was just an absolutely horrific miss. And in that first half, because Liverpool were chasing, the spaces were there, but they had off days, and that's what happens.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Like it's good that those things can still happen. Going to this form of that third to sixth place, then, what do you think that says about those teams? The fact that none of them could kind of get their act together.
I think if you look at the start of the season, everybody would have expected it from Arsenal, so it's not too much of a surprise. I think everyone was more surprised at the fact that they exceeded themselves at the start of the season, but Arsenal are where anybody would have expected them to be at that point.
I think Arsenal really struggled from losing Bellerin. I think often in football, one player can make three other players around them look better or worse. He allowed a lot more width, two areas of concern for the opposition. I think he's a big loss for them. Holding's been out for a lot of the season. I think they quite like him as well. And Mustafi's form falling off a cliff makes everyone look bad.
Their defence is pretty poor
as well. And actually, like throughout the season, I think what in its entirety, you can look at Arsenal and go, I think there are sort of shoots of things that you could be excited about, but you could also be really nervous about, one, the over-reliance on Aubameyang and Lacazette. I mean, you want your goal scorers to be scoring loads of goals, so that's fine, but elsewhere, Iwobi doesn't score enough. I mean, Welbeck's obviously been injured,
no goals from midfield.
There's not many goals from anywhere else, so that's a problem. And the defence, Socrates has been good. The Europa League run's been good, but there's still, like, losing Ramsey. Is Ozil going to get better or worse next season? It's going to be interesting to see. They've got a massive, massive summer, just as much as probably as Man United do.
Liverpool are probably the only club, I would say, that don't have a massive summer. Because you look at City, Fernandinho's getting old, Silva's getting old, and they're two crucial parts of that Pep team. They're going to have to somehow
They might want to replace Company.
Chelsea, you're fucked. They've got a transfer ban. Hazard wants to leave. If they don't let him go this summer, they're going to lose him for a free next summer. They're not going to do that. No way. They're going to absolutely sell Hazard.
Yeah. I guess the difficulty is what's going to cost you more money. If you're in the Champions League and you've got Hazard, that allows you to make more money by progressing in the Champions League further with Hazard, and also you can get in the Champions League again.
Would you then sell Hazard in January? Get Chelsea to get Hazard to get you through the group stages?
You could, but I think by that point it's going to be too late. So for people who don't know, I'm sure you will know by now actually, the FIFA ban has been upheld with Chelsea, so they won't be able to buy players. It's hilarious that the reason they're getting done for this is because of under 18 players.
Yeah.
And from now till the end of next season, the only players they can buy are under 18 players. You think
It's funny.
Can't you just ban all of it? Just seems a bit strange.
If only Chelsea had 94 players out on loan that they can bring back, that might help them.
Well, it's good. I think that could be quite refreshing for Chelsea. But when you look at the way that it's sort of wiggled about, and actually the evolution of and the improvement of Leicester City and Everton and Wolves and Watford.
Wolves have been my favourite team this season.
Is there a here's a calm take actually. It's from the last week, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hugh Schluskant.
Say that again.
That's Hugh Schluskant.
That's not what you said first time.
Hashtag calm take. This is not. Marco Silva is beginning to reel in the top six at Everton. They've beaten Chelsea, Arsenal and United in the last 3 home games, but despite Sky's focus on the limp opposition every time, Silva has received little credit, controlling nearly every minute, playing incisive, high-tempo, high-press football, reducing the opposition to just 8 shots on target and withholding a distinct lack of quality in the final third. A more clinical side would have buried them more impressively. Chelsea face a looming transfer ban and a departure of their star player. Arsenal improved under Emery, but are papering over cracks. I think there's some truth in that. They're unlikely to get funds to address glaring problems, predominantly wingers, midfielders and centre-half. That's quite a lot. Man United will likely back Solskjaer, but who knows how good he is or whether the wheels will come off. Keep the spine of this developing team and permanently signing Gomez and Zuma. I think
can't sign Zuma now.
What? Because Chelsea are going to win him back.
Chelsea got the ban.
Yeah, and Cahill's going as well, so they're going to struggle with that. Along with a quality striker plus 1 or 2 players, Everton could catch the big boys sleepwalking and sneak into the top 6. I think that's true.
I mean, Everton, Marco Silva was the right man. Everyone knew that. It took a little bit longer to happen. And Richarlison slightly gone off the boil a little bit across the whole of the season, but he's still a fantastic player that I take at United all day long.
Yeah.
Will they break into the top 6 though? It's been like a hoodoo for them.
I think it's about, basically it's got to be a meeting, because there's such a gap.
There's such a financial resources gap between that.
Yeah, but I think there's some truth in it, because I think, also, watch that Leicester team. I was actually a bit disappointed with Leicester in the Man City game, because you look at that team, I would take...
I'd take the majority of that Leicester team at United.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If you set up that, so Schmeichel's, they've really put pressure on, Brendan Rodgers really put pressure on Schmeichel to be on the ball a lot. I've loved to see how many touches he had in that game. It was mad.
Yeah.
They were constantly passing it to him. But he's great with his feet. Then the back four, Pereira's great. Johnny Evans is steady.
Chilwell.
Harry Maguire, Chilwell. Ndidi's amazing. Chowdhury looked really good. I would take a lot of those over Arsenal's back 4 or 5.
You basically take the whole back 5.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'd argue any.
Right now, without
most of the same at United as well.
Yeah.
I take the majority of that back five at United.
I guess that's the thing that Leicester fans have probably got to be a bit nervous about is, are you going to, and Man City, are they going to come and try and take Chilwell and Maguire?
I think
Think you'll go for Maguire
I think
again?
if we're going to if we go for Maguire now, after United last year said to Mourinho, no, he's not right for United, and then he's right for Solskjaer, then our club's even more of a mess than I thought he was. So I don't think that will happen. But Maguire, that run,
But that's
was
out of
outrageous.
pride.
No, it's
out of
not.
spite, isn't it?
But
It's
maybe,
ego, isn't it?
maybe
That's
it'll
ego.
be a realisation of, oh shit, we made a mistake, Jose. We probably should have signed him.
Yeah. Well, but
But-
I mean, like you say, the big problem is that, and Neville said it as well, is you've got a business guy. You've said it so many times over the years.
It's
You've got
painful.
a business guy, not a football guy.
It's painful. Anyone who doesn't know the background of Ed Woodward, he was an accountant who was in control of the leverage deal. So when the Glazers bought United, they didn't have the money. They got a fat loan out. He was the accountant that made it happen, and no leverage deals happened in football since. And obviously, from that point on, the Glazers were like, "We love you, Ed." So when David Gill left, he was promoted to CEO and has been there for 6 years, and he's got no experience in football whatsoever. Give him a chance, give him a couple of years, see if it works. It fucking hasn't worked.
No.
6-7 years, he's still making the same mistakes.
And then I was listening to this, one of my favourite podcasts, Rabona podcast. Everyone should listen to it.
Boner.
Rabona, Sam.
Sorry.
And they were talking about, there's a thing that some guy had said that it's about, in business, it's about the unknown unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
And so with unknown unknowns, the idea is that if you don't get football, then you don't know what to even look for to fix something when it goes wrong. And I think that's a problem at Man United. I think it was true in what they were saying there with that.
Mate,
is that he can't see it because he's going, let's sign, you don't want Mourinho. Okay, we'll get the opposite. We'll get the opposite. And it just doesn't work. Same thing's happened at QPR. Manager after manager, they've tried absolutely everything. And actually the truth is, you've got to have this clear vision. Klopp's been able to totally install a clear vision. Guardiola's been able to do it as well. Yep, they both had money, but they both had such clarity in what they want to do. Arsenal are trying to do it, and it'll be interesting to see how they step forward in the next year or so. But it feels like that's becoming bigger than the manager now.
Oh, it's absolutely.
It's everything, right?
100%. Unless you've got a person who sits above the manager that understands the football club he's working for, that every single decision that football club makes is in line with that vision of the football club. I mean, you look at Man City, brought in all the back staff from Barcelona, all the executives, put them all in place, and then dropped Pep Guardiola. Oh, I was unfamiliar with these surroundings.
worked out,
Oh,
yeah.
hello, this is quite nice. And then Liverpool have allowed Klopp to instill himself onto the club, and they've just followed his lead, and he's so charismatic. The fucking clean-toothed bastard. That
His teeth are clean.
I mean, they're very, very clean. But I'd love him to be my manager, but he's not, so I hate him. That's just the way it
I
goes.
get it. Well, that's an interesting when it comes to Suarez.
I
This
really
new
enjoyed
understanding that they don't like that. They
It's
don't
like,
like him now.
oh, he's a dickhead.
Yeah, it turns out he's a dickhead.
Shit.
But you know what? I said it to. I was chatting about it in my WhatsApp group with my mates. You've had it. You've had one. We've all had that guy. You can let us know in the comments below. You will be able to say it right off the top of your head. Like ours was, and I didn't even like him at the time because I could see he was an unlikable person. But we had Neil Warnock as our manager, and you could. These guys, he's a horrible bloke. But he's with us right now, and it's to our advantage right now. And that's what the Luis Suarez thing is. It was to their advantage to gloss over all the stuff. And people go, oh, no, I didn't. And that's fine. If you know that, and you understand that, and you've been consistent throughout, then cool. He's an incredible player, but you have to admit that you liked him, and you allowed things to go because he's one of yours. And that's how
That's
it works.
football.
That's how it works. And it's fine. And so if people dislike Pogba or who's the United one? Is there a United one?
I'd probably say Roy Keane, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, people say he's disgusting, like it was, or Ronaldo when he first came in, people would go like he's a diver, he's a tart, whatever.
Yeah.
And
But he was.
but it works for you. Robbie Savage is a great example. Like clubs that had him as in their team, they liked him. Because
they
he's
did.
an irritant, but he's not an irritant to them.
As long as he's your irritant,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Exactly. Final one, Jacob Hayes, this is from last week, we didn't get to it as well. Controversial but not being biased take. It's too long, I'm afraid, we can't have that as a thing. De Gea is the best shot stopper in the world, but they need a new goalkeeper if they want to play it out from the back. unless he can be taught, because his distribution, along with the panicky defenders, stunts United's attacks. Ter Stegen, Alisson, Edison, Leno, Kepa are all part of a plan. Maybe United's director of football would implement this.
I think that
Do you
is
agree with that?
quite a fair take. A very fair
Can't
take.
take, you might say.
I can't take, you might say. But De Gea, strangely, distribution used to be class. And I don't know whether it's because
Confidence thing.
don't know whether it's because our because if you watch centre backs of City or Liverpool, they will split, go to the side, always find each other. But as soon as they do that, Chris Smalling's so shit that he turns around, faces the opposition, and goes, "No, I'm not doing that."
Right.
Passes it back to him, and then De Gea's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to have to hoof it now." We don't have that structure in play to play it out from the back because the midfielders don't drop into good positions. So I think it's 50-50. I
Yeah.
think his distribution can get better, but it won't get anywhere near the levels that Edison and Alisson are showing. That's for sure.
And it's not. They need it. They need 2 years of it being coached into them. Like Man City, the first season.
Yeah, you can't just learn it, can you?
Yeah, well, you can learn it, but you might not be totally comfortable with it for a while. You need to be able to kind of make mistakes with it for a while.
But you have to imagine,
Which is horrible
given
at Man
that
United,
De
can't
Gea's
do that.
grown up in Spain and they all play football, that he has a natural passing ability, surely. Even if it hasn't
Yeah.
been drilled into him, it wouldn't be foreign to him completely.
I think there's just a new level of pressure that even these new modern goalkeepers are not used to, or not many of them are used to until they're well drilled in what they need to be doing. Because even the sort of mini pings that they do, it's not all the way up the field. It's these little half
over someone's head.
chips. Yeah, like Schmeichel's having to do the other day. Ahmed Hosni. Ferguson, here's one for you, big dog. What do you think? Ferguson's highest ever points tally in 38 games was 91 points.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Talk about Liverpool now.
The Arsenal Invincibles got 90 points.
Go
I'm
on.
just moving on. This is one for the weekend. It's a final one for the
mention
weekend of the Premier League
Liverpool.
season. Klopp's Liverpool have already more than both of them with 2 games to go in a much, much, much tougher Premier League than those had to deal with. Yet everyone will call them legends and Klopp a bottler, all because of a ball that crossed the line by 14 millimetres. I fucking despise football so much. Do you agree?
He sounds like an upset Liverpool fan.
Does sound a bit upset.
Do you agree that this Liverpool team is better than the Arsenal Invincibles and Fergie's team?
No. If it depends, they actually if they go
Lost credibility, didn't I? I didn't really read it with conviction, did I?
if they actually go on to win something,
Because they could do
it's
the
a
double.
different-
I mean,
it's
yeah,
a
look-
different. It's a completely different story if
Look,
they
they
actually
could-
win both.
They could have 97 points all they want, but Fergie won it 13 times and Liverpool have never won it. And until that
Yeah.
changes, then they can have the points trophy if they like.
They can have the points trophy. Fantastic. Fixtures this weekend, we were looking at them, and in previous weeks, Flav's given us a percentage of how interested he is in the
Ooh,
games.
Okay, talk to me.
Do you want a quick game? Fancy a quick game?
I might be able to tell you beforehand, but let's go.
Crystal Palace, Bournemouth.
30%.
You're 30% interested. God, you're more enthusiastic than Flav.
30%.
There was one. Flav went, I will never know the score of that game. Liverpool, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
100% interested in that game.
Sure. Spurs, Everton.
No.
4th versus 8th there. Brighton versus Man City.
Yeah, I suppose 100% as well.
Yeah. Fulham, Newcastle United.
Go away.
Yeah. Go away percent. Man United, Cardiff City, which is now, it's a nothing game, right? You can't do anything.
Such a dead game as well.
Stink. Would you be
Such a
nervous if you
stinker.
needed a win out of that?
Come on, absolutely.
It'd be nice to have a win, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
That'd be
little
nice.
win before the lap of honour. Can't wait for that one.
Watford, West Ham. The other games are boring.
Get out.
Right. Who do you want to win the league again? Like now, it's like, has it ebbed and flowed? Has it changed over the weeks? As a Man United fan?
No.
At no point has it ever ebbed or flowed. It's been City,
can win it.
and as I said to everyone, for United fans, it cannot get worse than City winning the league with the last kick of the game, of the last game of the season, to knock United off the top spot.
Yeah.
That's as bad as it's ever going to get with City.
Unless
Liverpool winning it.
Well, I think that there was a moment, I think you wobbled for a second when the quadruple was on.
Oh yeah,
Once that was gone, it was like,
I didn't realise that until I think about a week before the Spurs game. I was like, oh shit, this
Yeah.
actually
this
could
is
happen.
real. Yeah. Well, that's gone now.
Thank you, Spurs. But Spurs, don't beat Ajax, all right? Don't beat Ajax.
Spurs, Liverpool, Champions League final.
I'd rather
No,
Ajax.
come on.
Ajax, Liverpool.
By the time this comes out, you'll know. Quick predictions. I've had lots of predictions this season. A lot of mine have been correct.
My prediction, which will be
Some of them wrong.
which I would really, really love, is if City draw with Brighton, but Liverpool also draw with Wolves. That would be nice. But it won't happen.
Because Liverpool might have run themselves out here.
I cannot believe they kept that. Actually, I suppose they didn't need to keep that tempo up because Barca went at the back foot, didn't they? That first half an hour was crazy.
I mean, the tempo stayed pretty high. But yeah, the good thing for them is they got the Champions League finals in a while. It's
in
a while
June.
away. Yeah, it's crazy. So they've got so
stupid,
much
man.
time. So they've just got to get past this game. Wolves are very, very good on the break.
Best team.
I think they'll win that still.
I'm very excited by that Wolves team.
Yeah.
Again, like Leicester, I would take half that team.
Do you know what's going to be big for Wolves, Everton, Leicester? Is I think there's going to be they're almost going to break away a little bit from the other teams, and the other teams that would be I would have a low block, sit back, be really, really conservative against the other sides, but go for it a little bit against those teams are going to stop it. I think they're going to be really careful.
What's going to happen to Burnley next year then?
Same. 15th, they'll be 15th again. 15th, they'll be fine. But yeah, I think Wolves, Everton, and Leicester need to learn how to break down teams, and I think actually probably Leicester are the best equipped to do that.
That just comes down to like the sheer individual quality, that player like Bernardo Silva that can find that gap in between the defenders.
Yeah, and so so Maddison or
he's been class, yeah.
Yeah,
and then Norwich still went up without him.
I got something. I don't know. Anyway, so team of the decade. It's last week, Tanvir. Tanvir's got it wrong most weeks.
Oh, this is good. What?
In terms of putting the poll up. And this week, I read this. Adam Stefkovic said this. To not include David Silva in Team of the Decade poll is a crying shame.
Did we not have him in there?
Man has been one of the most consistent, excellent performers in the last 5 years. So I panicked and went, oh, for God's sake, Tanvir's got it wrong again. He's previously put Seamus and Coleman as voting options in previous polls.
To be fair, Seamus was pretty good for 2 years.
He was Seamus, yeah. Was he better than Coleman, though?
Don't know. Is he still in the WWE? Seamus?
I don't
There is
know.
a wrestler called Seamus.
I don't get that joke.
That was a good joke.
Then I looked at the poll. My concerns were, I shouldn't have had them.
I did it right.
Because he totally
Are you about to apologise?
Got it right. I'm not going to apologise, but you can see how my train of thought went. I was like, oh, what's he done?
I think you owe him an apology.
And there we go. So David Silva was in the poll and won the poll.
Love that.
28%. Oh, sorry, actually he was second in the poll.
Talk about mistakes.
Ah, disrespectful.
Mate,
yeah.
what the hell?
A bit karma there for me. Gareth Bale 19%, Sanchez 5%, Payet 2%, Hazard 44%. So Hazard and Silva move into our team of the decade, of which I don't think anyone's really sure who is in it.
How did Payet get into that list?
I put him
Jim
in.
put him in.
That one season he was amazing.
All right.
Yeah, team of the decade, one season.
I think Jim might be the problem here and not Tanvir.
Maybe. So Owen 1417 says nominees for strikers for team of the decade prediction. Save me going through the PFA team of the year each year. So yes, we will have your nominees and we can add more if we would like. So these are some of the nominees: Kane, Aguero, Vardy, has scored a lot of goals, Van Persie, Suarez. That's the nominees that he's put forward for the strikers of the decade.
Aguero.
Is there anyone else you would add to that? Salah?
Yep. 2 years.
Two mega years.
Fernando Torres.
Fernando Torres, probably his best years was probably around the turn of the decade. Drogba, again, probably not the longevity we're after.
What's our years? We're going
Charlie Austin's
2008.
banged in some goals.
Ronaldo? No, he left right at the start of the decade.
I think he's kind of got the right ones. Kane's been pretty fierce throughout certainly the second half of it.
Yeah, I think Kane would be fair.
Diego Costa?
No. He was all right, but I think Rory sucks him off way too much for what he was. Sorry, mate. He's an okay
Who'd
striker.
want to do that?
Well,
Certainly
Rory.
Look up, would you?
Oh my god.
So I think definitely Kane has to be in there. Vardy's goal return is incredible for.
Surprised how many he had this year. I didn't realise. He's on for 20, isn't he?
Yeah, over 50% of their goals this season. He's on 18. Yeah, so he might not get there. Van Persie, some good years with Arsenal, some good years with.
I think
Man
Van Persie
United.
would probably be a shout.
Suarez was pretty frightening.
Suarez would probably be. Ooh, Suarez or Van Persie?
How's Aguero not been in the PFA team each year?
I don't know. He scored 20 goals in the last 5 years now.
That's ridiculous.
More than 20 goals in the last 5 years.
Okay, so So nominees: definitely Aguero, definitely Kane,
Definitely Van Persie, definitely Suarez.
definitely Van Persie, definitely Suarez. Okay,
There's 4.
Sanchez, put him in there. He's
No.
already been
No.
Keep him out. The fact that he got into one vote is a bit outrageous.
Well,
What?
no, he was
He's an
good, he was
amazing
good at
player. He's an
Arsenal.
amazing
Come
He
on.
was
Give
literally
over.
the best player in the league at one point.
Well, 1 year, maybe.
Okay, last one. I think Diego Costa needs to go in there.
All right, Rory.
Ahead of Vardy. No, Vardy.
Yeah.
Put Vardy in there. So get
Seems
voting
fair.
right now. Of course, there'll be a poll up because I'm editing it this week. And always put the pressure on himself. But I do have a request for next week. Can you get your end of season award category ideas?
Oh, God.
That's end of season award category
A bit of a
ideas.
mouthful.
A bit
she
of a
said.
mouthful. Something I haven't spoken about. We're about to do new bits and new rules, and then just checking inside, and then Flames advice. But I saw this, right? Where is it? Vinny Brady. There's a guy called Vinny Brady, and he said,
Can you trust a man called Vinny?
yes, you can. You can with this guy, because this guy is one of our own, firstly.
Hi, Vinny.
Secondly, he's a singer. Thirdly,
Trust him less.
Vinny Brady, you will see his SoundCloud link is in the description.
Oh.
Final link. Go check it out because he's called his latest EP "Just Checking In" as an ode to the podcast. I've been listening to it all morning.
Have you?
I have. I've literally listened to it 3 or 4 times, and it's brilliant. And I'm at the end of this podcast. If it's okay, hopefully I don't get done for copyright. That'd be annoying, considering I'm trying to do something nice for the guy. I'm going to play one of his songs at the end of the podcast.
I look forward to it, Vinny.
But I just love that he called his album "Just Checking In." It's so cool. It's got all his hits on there, like "Wild Sheep Chase," "Our Love," "Sister Takes a Trip," and "Vondel Park." So go and check it out. Link is in the description right now. Go support Vinny Brady on his musical career. I thought it was very, very good.
Any relation to Karen?
Karen Brady, I don't know. The charming Karen Brady.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Younger brother?
No, he's from Glasgow. He's got a lovely little folk Scottish accent.
Stu might like him.
Stu would like him. I actually thought that when I was listening to it. He's our boss.
He's
Scottish.
Glasgow, from Glasgow.
Oh, here's a bit I forgot to do as well. Big dog. Oh! Big dog! Got a new thing.
Should never
Do you
be a
remember, what are you thinking? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What about this for you, Tanvi? On the spot here. What are you slaying? What are you slaying?
Absolutely.
What are you slaying
nothing.
this week? What are
Nothing.
you into this week?
Nothing.
You're not slaying anything?
No.
Not slaying nothing?
Been off the grid.
Off the grid?
Yeah.
Why?
Just haven't been bothered to go out. Been
Flynn?
saving money.
For what, Tanvi?
Don't know, just kind of broke.
Big date? Big date? Oh, no. Just
No dates.
Just an
Okay.
ultimate slaying weekend.
Right. You're not slaying anything?
No.
What are you feeling?
I mean, if you guys on the pod want to fund me for my nights out, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Save
I was
some
hoping
money.
that might be the new birds in that.
No.
What are you slaying?
Lack of birds in
What are you
that.
feeling?
The updated version with Tanvi.
Yeah, Adam Rosenbaum still happy with his girlfriend. I can report. I saw him at the weekend.
I couldn't see him mentally settling down. I think he's
Oh, he's an old soul.
a young Joey. He's got a lot more. He's got a lot more hopping to do.
Joey. He's a young Joey. Possible quote of the week there from Sam. Here's some of the quotes of the week next week. If you don't understand what these are about, it's because you didn't listen to last week's podcast, and that's on you. Quote of the week it's from certain people. One was, "When there's kids around, sex becomes difficult." That was Flav. Liam
not wrong.
Kalehia said, just checking in, quote of the week has to be, "When you're a big dog, some people are going to get slobbered on." And another one from NG, quote of the week, "My fresh sneaks be." Got a nomination there too. Well done.
What the hell?
So that was quote of the week. Get your quotes of the week. What's your favourite one? He's a young Joey. It's a front runner for me, if I'm honest. New rules. This is a
much
good
else
new
you
bit
guys?
as well. So we're asking people to think of new rules that we can put into football. So my one was 3 goals, 3 teams, 2 balls, which I still think would be class. Tactically, it'd be insane.
That sounds like a Nike advert.
One ball would work out a lot easier.
I think it'd be boring, 1 ball. I think it'd just be like, I think they'd all just run into each other. 2 balls, it would spread it out a bit more.
Would you get an extra ball dropped every third goal as well?
Mate,
Every third
you're just adding rules to his shitty
I'm
game.
do.
trying to
That's the point of
upgrade.
building. We're
Trying to upgrade his.
We want to kind of, let's find a new football. Can we find a new football? Some say you can't do that, but let's give it a go. Jack Fitch said this, #new rule. So any new rules, #new rule. Once a season, thoughts on this? Once a season, a team can activate a wild card that either lets them, A, reduce the opposition to 10 men before the game starts, or B, start the game with 12 players. The tactical decision making on when to play your wildcard will be absolutely spicy. Burnley reducing Man City to 10 men to make a real game of it. Harsh. Everton starting with 12 against Liverpool in the derby. Do you pop your
Still
wild
not
card
win.
early in the season and get ahead, or save it till late for when you need it? I like that.
You've got to save it. First of all, you've got to save
Good
it.
idea, though,
B,
right?
you're not very good with wild cards, so you shouldn't be allowed any any involvement in this conversation.
Playing your wild card like 6 weeks in a row, yeah.
That I keep. I should look at that. I tried to create a fantasy Premier League league, which I
worked.
did. That worked. I got loads of people to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just run out of steam. Next year.
Next
Jim,
year.
shall I tell you something interesting?
Go for it.
I haven't changed my team in 9 weeks,
9 weeks.
and I'm still in front of Sam, who plays it every week.
Oh dear.
So that's a bad lie.
You're a changer though, aren't
Bad
you?
lie. Me
You're
and
a
Craig are caught Tanvir at his computer so often.
You check
peeping.
You check my
Just peeping.
my team.
You know when you got like 4, it's on the 5th tab, so
I've
no
got
one can see it.
I've got like 3 injuries. I haven't
Right.
changed it in literally 8 weeks.
What?
and I'm in front of Sam.
For what reason though?
I just couldn't be
clout?
couldn't be bothered
Because he was
with
too
it.
busy going out, obviously. He said that.
Yeah, I actually was at that point, but now
Big dog and
I haven't checked it in like 8 weeks, and I know I'm in front
I
of
haven't
Sam.
checked it. How do you know you're in front of me then, Tam?
Because
You haven't
Craig's
checked it,
been telling
maybe?
me every
Craig's
week.
been telling you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, I think there's holes in this story.
Sam's salty, very salty.
Well, no, I'm not.
I don't really give a shit, if I'm honest, lads.
Bit harsh.
Back to this new rule.
Wow.
Would you like it?
That's a terrible
Adrian?
rule.
I think it's a great rule.
It's a fucking shit rule.
Why?
It's a terrible rule.
Why is it a shit rule?
What do you mean?
12 players won't even help you. Just 2 people run into each other.
Well, I think we need to open new doors to new tactics, and it would. I think it would be good. I think maybe it's more like let's have less players, so the wild card's just to create 10 players, and they lose them for
I
that
think
target.
I think you should be allowed that 12th man, but that 12th man will sit just behind the goal and is allowed to verbally abuse the goalkeeper. No touching.
that rule is
No
miles
touching.
better than that rule.
No, it's not. And you get
Psych
different
out.
accents.
That's basically the psych out from baseball.
Exactly.
I think it would work. I think it'd be
Brilliant.
interesting to see when people would use it. I think because imagine going into this weekend, and Brighton have still got a wild card. It would make it
Wow,
more
the
interesting.
excitement really built there.
Yeah.
No, but it would make it more interesting, wouldn't it?
Nope.
It'd be a leveler.
No, we don't need levellers. Levellers are the fact that City are the better team and Brighton have avoided relegation because there are 3 teams worse than them in the league.
Fair enough. Let us know. Do you think that would be a decent rule or not? Just checking in, sign it again is something we're working on for about a month now.
Oh, well done.
But it's this week, isn't it? Ryan Mulligan said the other week, lads, I'm heading to Liverpool versus Wolves game. I'm in row 3 of the Cobb, and if we win the league, look out for the just checking in signage. So basically, I want it on telly, a just checking in sign.
You've been watching way too much David Dobrik, haven't you? You know, when he gets like PewDiePie at the NFL.
Oh, does he do that?
Oh, does he do that? Like he hasn't said
I
that.
haven't noticed. No, it's more. I'm showing my age. It's more a soccer AM thing.
Oh, right, my bad.
but-
I'm sorry, my age as well.
So Ryan, pressure's on. This is the week. Nice big sign.
How big's the
Just
sign? What are we
not-
talking?
I want it like huge.
We're not
like
talking.
that.
We're not talking like A4 on
posh,
chest.
Like really solid.
Big signage.
Imagine that's it. Imagine like the back pillow of a sofa.
3-seater sofa.
That big. 3-seater sofa. That big.
That'd be full,
Finners
actually.
said, just checking in, hashtag just checking in sign. See you there, Ryan. I'm going to be in the away end. I'll keep an eye out on row 3, and I'll be making a video of the game on my channel, so I'll try to capture some footage of it from the other side.
Nice, I love that.
So we've got a
there's
camera.
There's a lot
Both
riding
ends.
on this now.
It's
Yeah,
coming
good.
together. Yeah, it's going to be really embarrassing if you don't do it.
He must have a stupendous camera if he's going to see
Mate,
that
it's going
sign.
to be there, like in row 3.
It's going to be like
in front
it's
of
going to be the
Kop.
tifo of the Cop. They just don't realise until they lift it up.
It could be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And Morgsy says this, just checking in sign at Glastonbury.
Anywhere,
to you,
anywhere,
up to you.
anywhere you can get one.
Yeah,
One of those
exactly.
big flags.
Send it to us.
Make it a thing. We finish off this week with Flames advice. Caleb Armstrong, he's in a real predicament, so he's been able to jump the queue because we've got some other Flames advice, but this one feels like we're duty bound to,
I'm good at
to
advice.
talk about it. Are you, Sam? Pressure's on then. Just checking in. 3rd time commenting this in as many weeks. I'm desperate for some Flames advice. What would we call it? Jam advice.
Jam advice.
Ugh.
Shit.
Sounds like it's getting worse.
Sames?
Mate, just read the question.
Cool.
Right, yeah, we don't need a name. Unknown.
I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. I'm 16, and at a house party 4 months ago, I lost my virginity
4 months.
to this lass in my geography class
Well
who
done.
has a bit of a reputation.
Okay.
What sort of
okay,
reputation are we
okay.
talking here?
Promiscuous, I imagine.
Not good at geography.
Yeah, she's rubbish at geography. Very good. The problem is I stupidly didn't use protection. No! I'll tell you what, if you're, how old are you? You're 16 years old and you're not using protection. You're not using that safety net.
To be fair, I didn't when I lost it either.
And
then-
Sam was very young, fat, spotty,
she-
ginger and racist when he lost his virginity.
Let's not talk about
If you
your
want
age
to
on
know.
that one.
Yeah, no, the age is irrelevant.
So first of all, you're an idiot. Wear a condom for two reasons. First of all, safety. Second of all,
Gives you that extra few
gives you that
seconds.
extra bit of time, okay?
Come on.
And extra bit of time in two ways. One, putting it on as well, as well as they give you that little breather just to get your head right.
Sometimes it's a buzzkill though.
Yeah, that is true.
to
So
the
where
point.
are we? The problem is I stupidly didn't use protection, and now I think I have an STD.
Right, give me more.
I just love, instead of actually getting this sorted, he's waiting in the comments for
He's waiting for 4 weeks.
4
Yeah,
weeks,
His knob's gonna fall off.
just for us to reply and say, mate, go to a doctor and get it checked out.
It's so true. It physically hurts every time I pee.
Oh yeah, well,
4 weeks he's been waiting for this. And my wang is leaking.
God.
what? You've got something that I've never had, whatever that is.
I can't, this is amazing, this is the bit. I can't tell my parents as they would be angry and would probably take my Xbox away.
That's a bad feeling.
Is it?
Don't want to lose the
Can you,
Xbox.
can you relate?
I can relate
can't
to that.
What,
yeah.
to the wang or to the Xbox?
To the Xbox.
To the Xbox.
Would you rather
Have a leaky wang or
have
no
a
Xbox?
leaky, throbbing wang that's about to fall off, or lose your Xbox?
Well, I'd go get it checked out. I'm not an idiot.
Smart.
Yeah.
You'd have
Seems
both.
obvious, really. I don't know if I'd be able to go to the GP on my own. Because he's 16? No, I think you're fine.
You don't go GP, do you?
They're not going to go, you can't come on your own. Come
No,
back with
you
your
go
parents.
to the clinic. You'd have to
Yeah,
get it checked, and then I'm pretty sure you can say that you don't want like your family to know about it.
Yeah, it's your own
Like,
consent if you're.
It's
It's fun.
yeah.
Okay, please, I need 3 of you to help me. Now, Caleb, Jesus, this isn't difficult advice, and you knew it, and you've waited 4 weeks, so I don't
4
know
weeks
what
of like pissing through a needle. And
First of all, you need to also talk to this girl. Because
what does she have?
what does she have? Or, no, yeah, that's it, she's virginity. What has she given you? And she might know, she might not know more importantly, and if she's got a reputation of being rubbish at geography, then she needs to know about that as well. No, but if she's got a reputation for being promiscuous, then she might have been giving it to other lads. There could be other people. There's probably like a whole row in geography. All 4 blokes just look.
Just I need miss. I need
Bits.
nah, hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
None of them want to lose their Xboxes.
Yeah, you're right. You seem to be. You seem, if you need the toilet, go. I'm fine.
When was the last time you had an STD?
I've never had an STD.
Really?
No. What do you mean, really?
Jim,
Has everyone had
that
one?
face doesn't look like you smart.
I've never had one either.
Wear
I've
a
actually
condom.
never had one.
Neither have I.
So why did you phrase it like that?
I was just asking.
Backtracking. You don't ask someone like
Sam
that. When was the
Steppo,
last
Sam
time?
Steppo.
you had
No,
an
I
STD?
haven't.
So
Safe-
go to the doctor.
safe
There's your
vagina.
advice. Really, really easy, obvious advice. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
you really don't want to be having a throbbing, leaking wang at any point in your life, let alone 4 weeks, willingly.
Just waiting for us.
Another nominee for Quote of the Week. Right, that is your lot, Sam. Thank you very much for joining
You're welcome.
the podcast. Quotes of the week, new rules. Go check out Vinnie Brady. Here's his latest track from his latest album, Just Checking In, right now.
Mailman.